Out of, if he sells 17 cars in a month, that month he sold 15 used cars and 2 new cars.
Really? So it's almost all used.
What happens is, I have noticed this very commonly in domestic stores where they have, they are challenged with the new car customers because those are they are very few and far between. They're not enough new car customers. Person needs to make a living. So what they do is they focus themselves into the used cars and make it work. It's just like if somebody is blind, they know how to walk and they can talk and they can hear better hearing. Same thing with this. If you don't have one aspect of the business not working, they focus on the second one and make it work. So it means used cars market is great. It only works when you focus on it. But that guy is, I'm talking about, working very well. Is one guy that I'm talking about when it says it's working very good on a single model.
Without going into it in detail, are you a fan of paying internet salespeople on volume, on gross, or on a scale between that takes both into account?
When I have this BDC or not BDC, that internet store, the internet director, he gets paid on the entire sales volume of the internet department. He gets the bottom line of the department, and he gets the bonus for, we give him bonus for the volume bonus if he hits that,
his goal,
which is always one above than best goal in the past. And naturally, they work very hard to accomplish that.
All right. Other questions on structure? Other comments on how to set up or how to structure a store, how to set one up? How do you determine when you go into a store? Obviously, you're a large group. You guys might make an acquisition. How do you go in and say, okay, we're going to start an internet department here. We're going to get you guys into the internet. How do you determine what structure to put into place?
Most stores right now, they have some sort of structure in place right now. It doesn't matter which store you go to. Either they say they have, or they have, or they don't have. But at least by name, they all have something. So my whole idea is I walk into the dealership. We just had this new acquisition of Hyundai store. I walked into the dealership, but before we bought the dealership, I went blind shopping the dealership, see how the process is, what they do, what they send, and how the process works. And if the person is who I'm dealing with over there, if he's qualified enough that I can say, hey, he's a good guy. When I walk in the showroom floor already, I already know I'm going to keep this guy. So I sat down with him and find out what he needs and how can I help him and how can I can integrate my technology with him to make sure that he is up to speed. When I walk into the showroom and the dealership first time, 4 things I make sure that I can provide the dealership to have the best results. As TTTS, tools, technology, training, and support. If I have these 4 things in place, you have the best results. I make sure that I provide them best tools possible, technology, CRMs, what have you, and then training, how to use all the technology that I'm providing him. And of course, I support him whatever it takes to support him, make sure that he's successful.
Give me an example of each. Tools meaning BlackBerries, technology meaning CRM.
Tools means BlackBerry and all hardware that you have in the place. Computers, monitors, telephones, pagers, whatever you need. Whatever you need, you should provide the person. Yeah. A lot of time I have seen in the past, dealerships say, you know what, once I start making money on my internet department, I will then invest some money. How would you like to go to a manufacturer, Lexus or Mercedes or something, say, you know what, you just give me the car, I sell the car. Once I sell the car, I will make the building. You know how many manufacturers will give you the franchise? None. But here some dealer principal, they say, okay, you know what I'll do? I like the idea, internet is a great thing, but let's see how many cars we sell first without the process. And if you're successful, then I'll put the money and I'll set up the department. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You have to invest those 4 things: tools, technology, training, and support. If you have that, you are successful from day one.
Wow. Is there any stores, this is on a side note, are there any manufacturers, franchises, stores, locations that shouldn't be online? That's just not worth it?
I
mean,
can't
really?
say that. You know, you're saying some franchise, a name, something that doesn't.
No. I'm not asking for. I'm not asking for a name. I'm just saying. Do you believe? Is there any time that your group? Could there be a situation where your group would actually make an acquisition and you go in and say it's not worth having an internet department? Or can you pretty much? I guess what I'm asking is, can you make an internet department work wherever you go?
It will work anywhere. It will work anywhere. The reason why, because internet has something unique. You can be sitting in the Timbuktu with 100 miles, nobody there, close to an airport. Guess what? If you have right process in place, you will sell cars. If you believe in it, if you conceive it, believe it, you can achieve it. It's possible. It is just a matter of doing it with positive attitude.
That's perfect. What I was getting at there is a lot of dealers that I've talked to, we've talked to in this thing is it's like, well, I'm different. My manufacturer is not a great I'm a Lincoln Mercury store,
Well, I
right?
live in this city.
Well, I'm away from the big towns, or well, you know what I mean. And so that's what I wanted to hear from you. I mean, hey, you've had experience with. I can make it. I could come in and make your internet department work. That's exactly. Yes. That's what I wanted to hear.
It doesn't matter where you are.
Anyone can do it.
Yes.
Wow.
And again, there's no magic bullet over here. As a matter of fact, the process we have it's not a rocket scientist. It's the basic principle, fundamental principles. If you follow the basic fundamental principles, meet, greet, qualify on the showroom floor, similar thing on your internet, that response, transparency on response, and all the things that goes beside that. If you just follow those, steps, you make a sale. I remember when I started selling cars, the first week when I was on the job, I was given a training, a whole week training off the showroom floor, and that was late 70s. Hey, that's how you sell cars. And if you do not follow those steps, meet, greet, qualify, demo, what have you, they have in place, guess what? You won't have a job. And guess what? By doing that, I tripped on sales because I just followed the principle. I just blindly follow the rules, blindly follow the process. I believe in processes. If you have right process in place, if you follow the process, you will have a sale regardless. There's no question about it.
Marketing, and then we'll talk about whatever else you want to throw in there. We've got down, if you look on the sheet, 12 different disciplines or online markets. Is there a couple on there that you strike that really stand out that you want to?
Inventory publisher is my favorite.
Okay.
First of all, let me ask you a question. On the new cars, do you want the real inventory that you have in the showroom, in the dealership lot, or you want virtual inventory?
Do I?
Yes.
Well, that's a loaded question. I personally think customers want to know where it's at. I think they want to know the real deal.
Yes. Okay. All right.
I don't know if you agree with me or disagree, but I think there's a side of me that I just want to put a builder on there, and I want them to build whatever I want. But if I'm a customer, I don't want to just build my dream car. When I come to make a decision to trigger, I want to know where that car is. But then, gosh, you put your inventory online, you tell people what you don't have. So I guess it depends on how much inventory I've got.
Let me tell you what happened here. A scenario. You are a customer. You're looking for Honda Accord EX, V6 leather, what have you. You go online. You know Napleton Honda. You go napletonhonda.com. Lucky me, he lives in 5 miles from my house. He likes my area. He likes my name. Now he'll shop for a car on my dealership. I don't have a car. Guess what? He's not going to do anything. He said, okay, he doesn't have a car. He goes out. He goes out on the internet, on Google, because Google is a big word these days. Guess what he does? He puts in Honda Accord EX, V6, everything he puts in there. And he hits enter. You know what happens? Who's my competition there? Do you know that? All the third-party lead providers. They don't have a car in stock. They don't sell cars. They have nothing there. But guess what? As soon as they hit that, it comes up AutoBytel, Dealex, Auto USA, what have you. Now the customer clicks on it. Now customer look for the car. They show them the car. They show them the picture. They show them everything. Now he fills out, okay, I want this car, I like this car, fill everything else. Turn around, I have that lead in my inbox. It's a legit customer, he exists, he wants the car, and he is there waiting for the answer. Now guess what? Now my internet manager is happy that he got the lead. He's sending the email to a customer. Customer says, you know what, I was on your site, you don't have a car. I don't want this. He's going to go again someplace else shopping for a car. Or customers say, well, you know what, I'll go buy the car. He'll come to you and you're trying to make a deal. Since you don't have a car, and your customer already knows he's not a car, he's already in the mindset that he doesn't have a car, he just come to see the price. He's gone now. Guess what? Do you owe the money to the vendor? Yes. The customer came to your site first already. You lost the customer, and you end up owing 20, 30, 40, whatever dollars they charge you, you owe them. And you know what? You have to pay the money because it's a legit customer. He exists. The customer who came to your site, he was your customer, you lost it to the third parties. So keeping that in mind, if you don't have virtual inventory, you lose that customer, definitely. But on the other hand, if you don't have the real inventory, guess what? The customer comes to the showroom floor, he say, hey, I saw the car on your website, I want that car. But for that, you have to have a proper disclaimer, nice and clear. So make sure that if your beef comes up, you have to handle the beef. And now we have virtual inventory across the board, and we do come across with once in a while customers not very happy about the inventory. He say, listen, I saw this car, I know the car doesn't exist, how do you have a car? So what you do is you manage your inventory, virtual inventory, make sure the car they do not exist, they should not be on your inventory. That's all. Our disclaimer says on our site, in stock or available, very bold, very clear. So naturally, it works out for us.
So configurator is most important when it comes to new.
See, configurator is different. When the configurator means customer knows he's building the car, it doesn't exist. When virtual inventory, he's not sure if they exist or not exist, but he's looking for a car. So if it exists, he will send an inquiry to you. And you know what? The inquiry comes to you. It only stays with you. If he goes out to Google or the third parties, then inquiry goes out, turned into 10 inquiries to 10 different dealerships for 10 different cars.
So how do you do that then? You build every car possible, stick it in your virtual inventory, and then you know which ones are in stock and which ones aren't. So
No.
they have right? So they have a configurator, they can go build what they want, or they can search whatever, they're going to find it on your inventory. Some will say in stock, some won't say anything.
And it doesn't say stock or not, it says boldly. It says, look for search inventory, it comes up all the cars looking for Honda Accord EX, it'll give you all the
It's another way to search inventory or to get the information on the car, but you may or may not be in stock, and you tell them that.
Right, exactly, up front.
Is there a service provider that does that, or do you?
Oh yeah, no, we have dealer on. They have this virtual showroom that is built for us, and every car that manufacturer makes, it is in the system. Any car that's made within any combination, in any color combination, or any option, features, bells and whistles, it's on our inventory. But it says boldly on top, it says boldly on the bottom that cars in inventory are available. Because only available is manufacturer makes it. Now naturally, if the customer comes in and says, I want this car, if the car does not exist and the car is not being built, naturally he's looking for a car that is figment of his imagination. He's with you now, at least you can tell him that, you know what, sir, this car does not exist, doesn't matter where you go, let me give you one thing closest to this car. This is the car that's the best possible match that you're looking for. And you know what, we have sold those cars. So again.
Dealer on?
Yeah, so that's a question. What you're saying is that's a question when you decide what vendor you're going with for your website. That's something you might want to inquire about.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Virtual inventory is a
Yes.
big point.
Oh, it's a big point. As a matter of fact, it shows you have every car available in the inventory, just like your competition, which is Auto by Tel, Auto USA, Car Smart, whatever you have. They all have the cars, and they don't have a showroom floor.
What about SEO and SEM? Tell me how you guys leverage search.
We outsource those. What we do is we have on our own. We did meta tags, we did SEOs and SEMs. It was becoming very hectic, and it was getting too competitive. It was costing a lot of money. The return was not there, not enough return to justify the expenses. So what we did is, for that, we are using our outsource company like ClickMotive or Dealer On what they do is for us, they do the search engine marketing and also optimization. What we do is, that really helps a lot. We own about 300 different domain names for Napleton.com. And every one of them is active, and they all have reciprocal link to each other. By doing that, we have enhanced our natural listing, organic listing, very high. And that really helps a lot. That does. Without a lot of extra expenses. But again, an average dealer who has only one rooftop cannot accomplish that because it does not have those resources. That's understood.
Right. They just don't have the same. I mean, I guess they can go out and acquire it, but they don't have the web property that you do.
Right.
To be able to refer and link and.
So like we have, I have like for Dodge, we have Napleton Dodge, then we have Oakland Dodge, then we have we have by city, then we have by make, then we have by Napleton. And then so we have 60 franchises by times 3 is 180 websites for different sort of combination we have available right now on the internet.
Do you have do you guys do partnerships with companies? Do you steer companies from like the local power company or the fire department? I mean, do you do anything like that to drive partnerships that way? Do you do Costco, that type of stuff?
We park our cars in Costco. We have relationship with Costco off and on. Sometimes we feel that it's too much money, it's not providing us, and then we see that it's providing results. It's off and on. Yes, we do have partnership with some credit unions. We have partnership. We give them priority information. Right now we are working on the project where we will have exclusive website for credit union buyers that we are working with, and we'll give them the logins. They will log in as a customer. Once they log in, they will get special discount as a special inventory. They will see all the inventory across the Napleton, and also they will see the deals that they have for them. And they are very loyal customers. We have seen if you treat them right, if you give them what they're looking for, at the end of the day, you are out of the game.
Do you see better closing rates from when you publish inventory versus when you don't on the used?
Publishing used car inventory is no big deal unless you mean business. I know a lot of people. I have seen 2 stores within 5 miles apart, my stores. One is used car manager. His strategy of marketing cars is like if he spent $10,000 for a car, he wants to put for $12,000, regardless the car is worth only $6,000 or $15,000, because he was thinking of making $2,000 gross profit or $4,000, what have you. On the other hand, and then he doesn't get any leads because it's not competitive in the market. So it doesn't matter he have 100% cars with 100% pricing, it is not conducive to the market. On the other hand, I have a smaller store, has all his inventory, but has a competitive pricing. The manager changes price literally every single day or every second day to make sure the price is most competitive. There are companies like Auto Trader. They have this service available where you can check how many cars alike in the market, what they're selling for, what is the best price. If you have only one car in the market, so you are at liberty to put the price. If you have 10 cars, it gives you what the average price is, what the high price, what the low price is, with the mileage. So you can see and you can adjust your market yourself in the middle or in the above or the bottom to make it happen. And that store is getting 10 times more hits per car than the guy who has twice as much in inventory because he's active. So either you're proactive or reactive. It's up to you.
Do you see better closing rates on those type of leads than you do off of general third-party lead provider on new cars? I mean, is there a difference in the closing rate from a third-party vendor lead and someone that finds your car on your site or someone's site and emails you in?
If a customer comes from my own site, Napleton.com, or on a specific car that we have on the inventory on the used cars, I have 5 times more likely I'll sell the car. I have on my dealership, when I'm looking at my year-to-date trend, the customers who we sold the cars to from our own website, the closing ratio is in some months as much as 45% closing ratio. Because the purity of the lead comes to me, it doesn't go to anywhere else. The customer is exclusive customer for me. I'm not selling them insurance like third-party lead providers. I'm not selling them mortgage. I'm not selling them financing. I'm not selling them anything else on the internet except that car they're looking for. Now, if the customer goes to third party, they are being bombarded by their emails for different things they're selling. And they end up steering away from what the main concern of the customer was, to buy a car. So I'm helping customers buy the car. Yes, makes a difference. Closing ratio is definitely higher from our own site than compared to third party.
How would you rank them in closing rates from best to worst? Store site, used car inventory publishers such as autotrader.com or usedcars.com or those types of places to take your used cars and put them on a third party site, and then the new vehicle configurators, how would you rank them in closing rates?
New car configurator I'm taking from the last first is nothing but just somebody coming to the site and configuring the car. So if they are, we don't have that. We tried that in the past website. We didn't get too many of those because configurators takes a long time to build a car. Most people don't have the patience. We have noticed that people came in halfway, click through, then walk away. The majority of the customers did not finish the process of going through the entire process of configuring the car. So we had the stats, so we decided to go with the virtual inventory or real inventory. So now when the customer comes from the virtual inventory from our site or the used car inventory, it has a definitely edge over third-party lead provider. Now,